talking to irrelevance. And President Trump, in his first term, said you need to step up and spend more. And he has in this term done the same. And what I saw in there were countries prepared to step up to push the limits of what they can do. That's a good thing. That's friends helping friends.
So what about a timeline, sir, for the 5%? How many years would you give allies to actually reach that?
Well, those discussions are ongoing. The ambassador is a key part of that. Go ahead if you want to speak to that.
Again, the timeline is not being driven by the United States of America. It is being driven by the serious security threats that Europe faces, that the United States faces. And so, our allies are all have their unique situations, but everyone in that room was committed to doing dramatically more. To the 5%, I heard everyone saying that the capabilities are necessary, the hardening of our societies and our infrastructure, and all of the investments that it's going to require. Everybody's on board. Everybody's going to have a unique timeline, but I think there's a serious commitment here, and we're continuing to negotiate that. But again, we're not driving the timeline. The threats are driving the timeline. Russia's going to reconstitute in 5 years or less, and and Europe continues to tell us that Russia is their biggest threat, and we agree in the Euro-Atlantic it is. And so we need to make sure everybody's investing.
Can you tell us about, sir, American troops and American military personnel in Europe? I think you suggested that there would be a decision about the level of forces you maintain because you're facing threats elsewhere, sir. Can you tell us, what your thinking is about US, I think 100,000 military personnel at the moment in Europe?
Well, it would only be responsible for the United States to continually assess our force posture, which is precisely what we've done. We have an interim defense strategy that clearly specifies we're going to defend our southern border and close it, unlike the previous administration that let 21 million people invade our country. And we're going to get 100% operational control of that. We're going to make sure we shift properly to the Indo-Pacific and reestablish deterrence there. And then we're going to increase burden sharing across the world. America can't be everywhere all the time, nor should we be. And so there are reasons why we have troops in certain places, and we respect and understand that. It was also prudent that we review that force posture in real time alongside our allies and partners to make sure it's right size. So I don't want to get ahead of the president's decision on that, but we're reviewing everything. And I think our allies' commitment and willingness to spend more means a lot, to your point. You can talk, I heard a few countries talk about capabilities and the importance of capabilities, and then hedge a little bit on how much more we spend. Unfortunately, you got to spend to have hard power, oftentimes. You can't really have
enough,
both.
Sir? Is 3% enough?
Each country's going to make that determination, but this alliance, we believe, in a matter of weeks, will be committing to 5%. 3.5% in hard military and 1.5% in infrastructure and defense-related activities. That combination constitutes a real commitment, and we think every country can step up.
What about aid to
One more, real quick.
Does the US want Zelensky to be at the summit in The Hague? And by skipping all the events related to Ukraine at this NATO meeting, are you sending a message that the US no longer supports Ukraine?
Well, I believe you're right.
I'm at all the meetings, yes.
We've been at that meeting, and we, at the beginning of this administration.
I think you just insulted me, though, saying that I'm not the United States.
I think you did. We're definitely at that meeting and made a contribution. And from the beginning of this administration, worked with our British and German counterparts for them to take the lead of that contact group, which they've done, and I appreciate that. We appreciate y'all. Thank you very much.
Does Ukraine fit into the 5%? Press, you can hold here.